Yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dai. Atzilah, 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 Mizameret El, Mizameret El, Mizameret El, Mizameret El, Atzilah, 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 Mizameret El, Mizameret El, Mizameret El, Mizameret El, Atzilah, 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 Mizameret El. Atzilah, God singer. Thank you, my dear.
I know the birds chattering in sing-song voice are winging their love notes to her, the woman whose voice gentles my roiling gatherings. That curly-haired woman, that enchanting woman, that one who braves physical therapy, that special day after her new hip joint rocks her way to a gathered balance, both feet heel-toeing. That balance that sends her to the embracing return of the land of saguaro cacti, her homeland, to the mother who longs for her daughter's centering touch, to the land of 113 summer degrees, announcing its heat on the bank's outside red thermometer. Warmth, balancing warmth, the woman we know as Atzilah. She is that woman we will miss for the knowing and the healing.
Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Welcome, Atzilah. Thank you all for being here to offer our appreciation and love and heartfelt goodbyes and tears to our dear Atzilah, who has been at the core of our Ner Shalom soulfulness for so long that many people can't remember or never knew a Ner Shalom without her. I certainly can't. She arrived long before me, but in 2008, maybe not long, but before me. And in 2008, when I agreed to lead High Holy Day services for the first time, all the veterans said to me, oh, you have to call Atzilah right away and get her on board so that she can offer her gifts, which I did, and she did. So my entire experience on the Bima at Ner Shalom has involved the companionship, collaboration, and soundtrack of Atzilah Solot. She sings to us about giving gifts, but she has been an unanticipatable gift for this community. She embodies a wide range of talents, some of which we see all the time, and some of which we get on special occasions, some of which we only get brief glimpses of, like sun breaking through clouds. Dance, movement, qigong, art, and song, and delight. Atzilah took upon herself the Sisyphean task of bringing playfulness to synagogue ritual. And I think we're doing okay. Atzilah is heir to a number of lineages of practice, thought, and healing arts. We have benefited from so many of them. Trained by Rabbi Shefa Gold, Atzilah brings the very important spiritual technologies of chant into our ritual lives. For Shabbat, holy days, births, deaths also. All the moments where we reach for a practice we can hold on to. Atzilah is there giving us strength with Ozi v'zimrat ya, or calming us into gratitude with Kosi rivaya, Kosi rivaya, or helping us honor and hold our own not knowing with Hodieni akitsi umidat yamai mahi, and so many more. A vast toolbox of chants, each with its own moment and its own medicine. We will miss having this medicine at the ready. We will feel its absence. For 8 years, Atzilah has held our monthly Messengers of Peace chant circle and has been a creative contributor to this community in many ways we will hear about tonight, and has played a personal role as companion and friend to, I would imagine, every person in this room. So Atzilah, we will shortly tell you about the gifts we have received from you. But first, this. Moment. You can do it, computer, you can do it.
you.
And so Atzilah, we are going to tell you some of what you mean to us. But of course, if each of us, each of the 41 people, 41 squares of one or more people currently in the room did that, oops. If each of us did that in the fullness that we would need to do to tell you all that you mean to us, we would be here all night and well through tomorrow. And so we're going to use a technology that you taught us that has to do with knowing that the story comes in the suggestion and not in the laying out of many details. And to everyone in the room, the way this works is that you begin by saying, I could tell you about, and then finish the sentence. And that's all we need to get a sense of imagining of what Atzilah means on that front to you. So today's organizers are going to start just to model this.
I could tell you about Atzilah introducing me as a newcomer to Sonoma County and to Redwoods, which I loved, to the secret garden known as the Grove of Old Trees.
I could tell you about walks and coffees with my friend Atzilah where we would study and laugh and wrangle until we had a concept for storytelling.
I could tell you about chant circles every month where the circle was so intimate and so deep that even if people were sitting in their chairs, you could see their souls dancing around the room.
I could tell you about what it's like to sit in meetings with Atzilah and have just the deepest, most beautiful words of wisdom roll out as she opens her mouth. From whence does that come?
I could tell you.
I could tell you about Atzilah's magic. She shared her chants and her love of chanting with me and made me soulful in a way I never knew was in there.
I could tell you about having an office next door to Atzilah's house and having so many wonderful, deep, healing conversations.
I could tell you about Atzilah's remarkable life in Japan. Domo arigato.
I could tell you about a one-woman show in the flesh involving a pipe organ in the hot Southwest and a women's locker room.
Well, I could tell you about a storytelling in which Atzilah, as Jonah, danced under the waves.
I could tell you about a Shabbat service that Atzilah led, where she did the entire drash as an interpretive dance.
I could tell you about calling Atzilah at 1 a.m. from the emergency room and saying, Atzilah, could you come and get me and take me to my house and stay all night? And being greeted with such kindness and gentleness and loving friendship.
I could tell you about the storytelling in which Atzilah taught us about the strength of the earth beneath our feet and love being where heaven and earth meet.
I could tell you about going to a movie, and Atzilah and I were in the same row, but we didn't know it until after the movie was over, and then we became friends.
Who's this?
I can tell you about Atzilah's heart and dedication and our laughter on our walks.
I could tell you about Atzilah producing winter treasures, poems and chants for the winter solstice, including a Taizé chant from line 1 of Psalm 117, Laudate Dominum, omnes gentes, alleluia.
I could tell you about Atzilah's wonderful artwork and her extraordinary healing body work. Thank you.
I could tell you about Atzilah's. Oh, you want to go?
How about Renee and then Cindy?
Okay. I could tell you about Atzilah's befriending a homeless man in Sebastopol that others just dismissed as a crazy person that she had, you know, a friendship with and compassion towards.
I could tell you about the time that my family was in crisis, and I was told afterwards that she led the congregation in a chant in our honor.
That's sweet to remember.
I could tell you about Atzilah chanting in my mother's hospital room at her bedside, and then eventually at the bedsides of everyone on that hospital ward.
I could tell you about Atzilah's relationship with animals and how she connects with animals.
I could tell you about the first Chan Circle, but probably others could as well, in which our intention was healing. And the miracle of Sibel recovering and of being at Chan Circles monthly for probably the next 7 years and watching that magic happen in the room. And the magic happen as people step through the door to join us.
I could tell you about body work being done that landed me flat on my feet in the most grounded way I've ever experienced, time after time after time.
I could tell someone whose different modalities of community beyond her movement, thought, intent. I don't even know where it's at.
Joanne, your microphone is breaking up, so I want to invite you to put that into the chat so that we can all see.
I can tell you about Atzilah teaching me about not efforting too much.
What?
Not
Efforting.
efforting.
What do you say?
Efforting.
I could tell you about how moving it was to see the storytelling without Atzilah embodying Sarah's grief and rage at the Akedah.
Hang on a second, Shoshana and all. I'm going to remute everybody because now we're having a bunch of interference. I'd like to go back and ask Joanne to give hers again, and Ari and Shoshana, and see if we can hear them now. And let's all unmute one at a time and then remute when you're done. Joanne? But you're muted.
Her movement with her hands, with her thoughts.
So Joanne, we do have a microphone. So if you could also put that in the chat and we'll read it through. Ari, do you want to do it again?
It's in the chat.
Shoshana?
I could tell you about a storytelling where Atzilah embodied Sarah's grief and rage at the Akedah and changed the outcome or changed the way the outcome was understood as through Sarah's intervention. So moving.
I could tell you about a storytelling where there was a lonely goat herd. Yodel-a-hee, yodel-a-hee, yodel-oo. That's all.
I could tell you that before I met Atzilah, I didn't think of myself as an artist. And it was through watching her and her confidence in herself that I started to think, well, maybe I could try.
I could tell you about many, many, many years of working with Atzilah at Chant Circle and the wonderful times that we rehearse and then throw it out the window and just improv.
Robin and then Sally.
I could tell you about so many, I can't count them, chant circles that changed my day, my night, my weekend every single time, and whose melodies I carry with me to home. In fact, I've kept a copy of every single handout you ever gave. And I left there beautifully calm every single time and felt the energy of the whole circle being that way too. We were all healed moving out of that space. It's been wonderful.
I could tell you about how Atzilah came to me maybe over a decade ago and said, I think I'm going to go take this Jeff of Gold's class on chanting. And I said, oh, that sounds wonderful. What will you do with it? And she said, I don't really know yet, but I just feel called to go.
I could tell you a lot of things that I remember about Atzilah, including her being there when I first came to Ner Shalom, and 15 different stories that are all so very different and demonstrate her many, many talents, her many facets, and her many gifts.
I could tell you about Atzilah walking over and saying, would you read this poem? And it was always absolutely the right poem for me, for the night, for the circle. And it was always such a wonderful gift to be asked.
And I could tell you as well about many years of chant circle, drumming and chanting, and just having a wonderful spiritual refuge that changed my whole week and disposition, and just was something to look forward to every week or every time we had it.
I would like to share Joanne's words for a moment. Joanne said, I could tell you about how Atzilah communicates in various modalities beyond her voice, through movement, music, and intention.
I could tell you about what a good friend Atzilah is. She never wants to stay on the surface. She always wants to dive deep and talk about what really, really matters. Such a gift.
I could tell you about how much I'm going to miss Atzilah and her presence and her energy and her love that she gives so freely to all of us and to this congregation, and how I totally associate her with this congregation.
And I would like to say, I would like to tell you how Atzilah made me feel so welcome as a newcomer to Ner Shalom, and how many other people whose lives she touched that way.
I would like to tell you about a purposeful walk through the neighborhood where she lives in Sebastopol, admiring the art and having so many people just along the way spontaneously be in their yards and say things to her that meant so much about their relationship.
I could tell you about Passover Seders, where because of Atzilah, people at the tables had to pretend to be parsley or charoset and begin sentences with, I could tell you about.
I could tell you about when I first came to Ner Shalom and connected with Atzilah, and I was having a terrible time, I think, with my back, and she offered to do a trade with me and work with me for my back, and it was very healing, and I treasure her and all that she does.
Bareen, did you want to share something?
Yeah, I'm going to say something that we all know about Atzilah. And we all know that Atzilah is a good example of the gift that keeps giving. And she may be going away. Sorry about talking about you like you're not here, because I know you are. But I know we'll carry you in our hearts. And I know you'll carry us. And you're going to go on and do incredible things because that's who you are. And I know you've made such a difference in my life. And it's obvious, you know, to all of us, you sure make a difference in lots of folks' lives. And I just wanted to say thank you, sweetheart. And I love you very much.
Eliora, did you want to say something?
I wanted to say that several months ago, a friend of mine was in the ICU in San Francisco, and we thought she was dying. And Atzilah came with me, drove me there, and sang to her, and came to the healing circle that we did at her house, even when she was still in the hospital. And it was very healing for all of us, and especially for me, to have someone that I love so much come with me.
Ari writes into the chat, I could tell you about not feeling like a newcomer as soon as I met Atzilah.
I could tell you that I consider Atzilah the gentle nudger, because she was very kind at asking me to come to Chant Circle and play with her. And even though I didn't know what I was doing.
Reverend Pat?
Yeah, I could tell you that I really was welcome to Ner Shalom at the Chant Circle. And also I could tell you about some great soulful lunches that we shared.
I could tell you about how my husband and I had a bar and bat mitzvah, and how my daughter had a bat mitzvah, and how both of those ceremonies were made complete because of a chant by Atzilah.
I could tell you about a kind, compassionate woman who's beautiful, dances amazing, and always speaks really truthfully from a grounded, at least my experience, from a grounded, caring place that I appreciate. And I'm sorry that you'll be going away.
I can tell you about Atzilah, the woman who really impressed me so deeply, the way she plays the shruti box. I really appreciate all of what you've shared with me in that place, because there's magic when you're playing and you're chanting. So I appreciate that. Sweet
I could tell you about the joy that I have felt rising from Atzilah through every chakra, and looked at her as she opened to me, and about the courage that I could feel coming from her as she showed up for her family again and again and again.
I could tell you about Atzilah after her surgery, so determinedly scooching to the edge of her bed. It was the same night as she had her surgery, and getting up and standing up and saying, I need to do this.
Let's breathe in all these gifts. I see Judith and Barbara would like to add something.
Yeah, I could tell you about, I don't know how to become the screen, but I could tell you about watching Atzilah after her surgery, having her face in a whole new way, and the strength and beauty of all her varied gifts pouring out of her in a whole new strength.
Barbara or Matt?
I could tell you about Atzilah's commitment not to brush past difficult conversations, to really engage in them, to really challenge her friends, to think deeply about who we are and how we treat each other, and how that has helped me in my journey.
And I could tell you about all I learned from Atzilah, about how powerful it is to stand with your foot on the root of a tree. Let's hold all of these gifts, all of these many, many gifts we've received from Atzilah for a moment, and take a minute to absorb them, to appreciate them. Kechu teruma, kol nediv libo. Kechu teruma, kol nediv libo. Offer your gifts, offer your gifts, you of a willing heart. Offer your gifts, offer your gifts, you of a willing heart. Kechu teruma, kol nediv libo. Kechu teruma, kol nediv libo. Offer your gifts, offer your gifts, you of a willing heart. Offer your gifts, offer your gifts, you of a willing heart. One more time. Kechu teruma, kol nediv libo. Kechu teruma, kol nediv libo. Offer your gifts, offer your gifts, you of a willing heart. Offer your gifts, offer your gifts, you of a willing heart. Atzilah, when we talked about holding an event like this, you wanted to make sure that you would have a chance to talk, tell your story. And so if you're still feeling that, this would be just the time we were imagining it to happen.
First, I just like to tell you how much I appreciate all of your presences today. I hear my voice. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I think that was an echo because I think.
Yeah, I'll stop her. Yeah.
Good now. You sound great.
Okay. So thank you so much. I'm obviously overtaken by all of this, and it's like, who is that person? It makes this whole thing real in a whole different way. So I'm very grateful. Yeah, just because I was there at Ner Shalom with Rabbi Elisheva. I came back from a trip to Japan in 2004 and had closure with a teacher of mine that I had his voice in my head for years, even though I came back in '87. And it was a really big thing, and it was disorienting. And I went to see Rabbi Elisheva, even though I wasn't actually a member. She had birds and all kinds of animals, and I was very drawn to her for a variety of reasons. And I had just been going to the high holidays, more or less. Once in a while I would go there otherwise. And I went to see her in her office. And also I had seen the B'nai Mitzvah of Sally Tregel and Shira Hadid and Eliora, and just that group of people. I'm sorry if I've forgotten other people in the moment. And it was just astounding. It was, I think, 7 people, and the whole synagogue was packed. And I actually brought a woman who was visiting me from Tucson, didn't even know she'd been Jewish. She'd never been in a synagogue, but her father had been her grandfather had been a rabbi. I mean, it was just, and she was completely blown away by the whole thing too. But when I witnessed that, I said to myself, okay, someday I'm going to do that. And when I came back from that trip to Japan, when I went to see Rabbi Elisheva, what came out was, I want to do that. I want to have a B'nai Mitzvah. So I joined to have a B'nai Mitzvah. So that was in December. I was there in Japan, 2004. Bush was reelected. I don't know. It was crazy time in a different way than now. And I started a whole study for a whole year, which included studying with Margot Miller to learn the trope, and Gesher for consulting about the Torah portion, and just and I never forget. I had to go to the classes of the current class of the B'nai Mitzvah, the kids. And the first time I went, we were sitting in a circle in the sanctuary on the floor, and Rabbi Elisheva said, "So, what's your favorite ice cream flavor?" And we went around the room, and I was like, OMG, like, what? Anyway, I went to all of these the group studies, and the parents were there with the kids, and it was a little odd. It was odd, but it was also great. And and then I met with Elisheva almost every week in her office. And the whole thing turned into this huge family reunion, which I completely did not anticipate. I sent invitations to everyone, and they all came. Anyway, long story short is I was so lit up chanting from the Torah. And my Torah portion was Shemot. It was, with the snake turning into the staff, and, the reluctant leader, which is me, like, okay, speech impediment, I'm, can't do that, not going to do that. All my resistance to doing stuff in my work. And it was extremely meaningful, and I just was so lit up by the whole thing. And the drosh was very I was in the flow. It was really fun and amazing. And then Barbara Tobin helped to turn all the synagogue over into, we had the lunch for everybody. But what ended up, it was like I had postpartum depression after that, because I had to organize it in such a way that, and Sherry, I had all these, it was a community building event. Sally Tregell read from the Torah, a lot of different people, Sherry Brenner and David Rubenstein for the first time ever to read Torah. I mean, it was just this whole, I don't know, I just wanted to make it a community building event, and it was. And, but all of that organization, so I didn't have, so like I could receive like I'm receiving today. Like I don't have to do it. I just have to be there and receive it, which was a lot of work, which actually I'm pretty good at, but at the same time, it was a lot. And then everybody was gone, just gone. And then I was in this sort of, it was just depressing whole thing. And then I was online looking for some Rosh Chodesh information to do something with it. And I saw Sheffica's chant leadership training. And I was like, oh my God, I have to do that. And I applied and I got accepted, and I took a loan out with the Hebrew Free Loan Association because I had to go 6 times back. I had to go in 18 months. I had to go 4 times for these week-long things. And anyway, I did it. And I mean, it was, so I guess, FYI, if you do a B'nai Mitzvah, things ensue, okay? Because I never thought in my life anything about being a chant leader, but that's what ended up happening. And so, yeah, I wanted to let people know that there's something about just diving right into something you enjoy. And also I wrote in my letter to my application to Shefa that I wanted to find some way to connect with community, that was something that I really wanted, And so I just started to lead, even if I wasn't any good at it, I was just doing it. And I encourage that. I just think that's a good way to get better. So I guess that's, and so then I should say that once, then Elisheva unfortunately had to go away. It was a thing, and I kind of backed away for a while. But then somehow, and I don't remember exactly, but Barbara Lesh McCaffrey said to me, okay, so if you want to be a member, because she's always about the membership, it's like, okay, you want to be a member, you can chant for your membership. And I said, sign me up. Yes, I can do that. So Barbara was the one who kind of really reined me in a big way. And I'm very grateful. I will be forever grateful to her for that. And like that. That was kind of the story right there. I don't know. So I'm just really grateful that, I mean, there's, when I hear all of what you say and I remember, oh yeah, wow, why am I doing this? Like, why am I leaving? If it does feel right, I do feel called, I do feel held, and it's not without trepidation. And part of it is I've bonded so deeply here in Sonoma County and with all of you in a way that is just, there are really no words for that. That is because you are my family in a way, I feel, and the kind of witnessing you've just given me too. And I've received in a lot of different ways, most of all different kinds, energetically, in the give and take of the chant over all these years. So I'm not going away exactly. It doesn't feel like a hard and fast thing, but I want to know more about each one of you. I've had the blessing of getting to have a little more time with people here and there in this period of the COVID time. And that's been the takeaway for me, is I'm inspired to really carve out that kind of time where I get to receive more deeply of who a person is. that means a lot to me. So, and the phone works really well, and Zoom works really well, and I'm going to be in quarantine for 2 weeks. So anyway, I think that's is that what you want? Was that the spot for that? I'm going to say thank you. It's not enough just to say thank you. Anyway, I think I better stop now.
We have a little bit more ahead, so you can always addenda are welcome at any point. We have a couple of gifts for you as well. And the first one is one that you already opened the wrapping on it, but we're going to present it again anyway. This is a gift from many of your singing and musician friends here at Ner Shalom. Hang on, this will just take me a moment. And for those who don't know, this is Atzilah's New Year's Nigun. And it goes like this.
Can I just share a little something about that?
Yes, just ask Yael to turn off her sound.
So that New Year's, Kiku and Bochan were on the towel rack in my bathroom, and I was taking a shower that morning, and that melody came through. And then I told Erwin, and then he said this the other night. Then we used it at, I think the first Shabbos of the year was on January 1st that year. But also, you know, my grandmother, who I'm named after, Atzilah and Ellen both come from her name, Atzilah Solot. I never met. She died when my dad was 15, and but she's very strong in my life. And when he passed away, and I was in the synagogue that I grew up in Tucson, the next iteration of that synagogue, and I was on the bima. I delivered my brother said, when the rabbi came, he said, Ellen will talk about our dad. He just volunteered me to do that, which of course it was the right thing to do. But at the end, I did this chant, which seems odd, but except it was it felt like, because of the connection with his mother and the connection with, and a sort of send-off quality. And in this synagogue, which is a pretty big synagogue, and he was very respected and known for a lot of reasons in the community, and a lot of real estate people and different people. And everyone was singing, and I was up on the bima doing this one-hand dance with it, you know, and I have, and, you know, it was just, so I just wanted to name that. It does seem to have that thing. And so when I did it that morning, when it came out, I said, I knew somehow that things would be okay, because I'd had a lot of challenges with my family, whole thing. And it was just, I just knew somehow that chant showed me that it was going to be okay somehow. So I just wanted to share that about the chant and or the nigun. So thank you. And thank you all who participated in that amazing, stunning rendition.
Well, Atzilah, we also wanted to get you something tangible, and this is from all of us at Ner Shalom, and once you open it, there's a ritual that we have for you to go with it. I'll wait until it's being delivered as we speak by Yael. Go ahead and, yeah, please open it. Oh, you're muted, Atzilah. If you want to unmute so we can, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying, this is an amazing box.
Hold up the box. Hold up the box.
Hold it up.
Yeah, the box is a thing all by itself.
Yay, grateful. We're so grateful for you. And
well, just to note, I mean, I guess probably the biggest treasure of this kind of relationship that we all have together and just being in community is the mutuality, which is a huge value for me. I mean, it's just so this is, yeah, I was good at this, organizing the space. Okay, do you want me to open the card first?
Whatever you'd like, if you'd like to open it.
Okay. I'm being told that this is all you, Shoshana.
No, it's from all of us.
It's a community gift, but you put it together. So. Yes, thank you. Wow, beautiful image.
That's you and leading us in chant circle.
Okay. I got the memo about the outfit there. Wow, that's beautiful.
What did it say?
Do you want me to read it? Okay. Dear Atzilah, you are forever engraved on the palms of our hands and in our hearts. May you always feel our love and gratitude surrounding you. We are so grateful for the abundant gifts and blessings you have offered our community and for your loving friendship. Congregation Ner Shalom. Yeah, there's that beautiful image. And the birdies on the paper. I've noted all the birds in various rooms, by the way. It's very cool. Unfortunately, Kokoro's by himself, but it's okay. I'm sure he feels us anyway. Oh, this is so beautiful. Oh my God. My grandmother was the kind of, she was always like, you know, every little thing, you know, I'm not going to do that. I will keep it, but I'm not going to. Wow. That's gorgeous. Oh. Wow, that is something. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is just absolutely stunning. Oh my God.
It's lovely.
Beautiful talit with birdies on it. Wow. Pomegranates and birdies. Wow, that's just unbelievable. Wow, that is so beautiful. Can you see?
Yeah.
Wow,
So
that is really
gorgeous.
Yeah. Oh, that's really something. Oh my gosh.
Made that for you.
We wanted to invite you. Maybe I was thinking we could sing Shefa Shehekianu and the Talit blessing. And our intention is to have you wrap yourself in the Talit, and that whenever you put it on, you feel this moment of us all with you, and that you always feel enfolded by the love of the Shekhinah and by your family at Ner Shalom.
Oh, that's so fabulous. Oh my gosh.
Oh, mystery, grace unfolding. Oh, miracle, it's you alone. Oh, mystery, grace unfolding. Oh, miracle, who brings us home? Shehechianu, Vekiamanu, Vehikanu, Lasman Hazeh. If you'd like to say the Talit blessing, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahitate b'tzitzit. And we're all gonna put on our talitot so you can feel like we're a big tent of blessing, and we're gonna offer you our blessings. And if everybody would just, in popcorn style, just offer a blessing for Atzilah, maybe a word or a phrase, and we can just open it up. So I can start. Atzilah, I bless you that you keep being surprised by the beauty that comes through you and that comes towards you.
Reception. Doesn't work.
Oh, many more wondrous journeys to you, Atzilah. I know that you've got many more to come, and bless you for being here with us as long as you have been. I'm so glad we have Zoom. We'll see you some more. Yay.
Atzilah, may countless songs and chants arise in you and out of your beautiful throat and mouth to bless your journey for the rest of the time on this earth and beyond. And may we all hear them and be with you in some way to rejoice with you.
Atzilah, may your time with your mother be wonderful for you both.
Atzilah, may this move and Tucson and your mother and everything in your life from here to come bring you great joy.
Atzilah, may your life be a continuous adventure, as it always has been. And I'll miss you terribly.
Atzilah, may you continue dancing freely and beautifully always.
Atzilah. Robin, go ahead.
Oh, Atzilah, I think you are making one more wonderful step in your wonderful journey, and I bless everything about it. And your mother is so lucky. Thank you for everything.
Atzilah, I bless you that your gifts just pour out of you more and more strongly in more and more varieties of ways, and that we and everyone around you continue to be blessed by the strength of your profound gifts.
Atzilah, may you always feel the love that we feel for you, and may you always be surrounded by the depth of love wherever you go.
Atzilah, may you always have the beauty of connection, the way that you create circles wherever you go. May you find the circles where you're going, and may we keep you in this circle as much as we possibly can, and see you when you're in town, and see you on Zoom until we can all get together again.
Atzilah, may the journey itself be filled with song, not only the song of Kokoro in the seat beside you, but of the songs that might be channeled on the drive to your new part-time home, because you'll always be home here too.
Sally and Barbara.
Atzilah, may you always be seen and loved and acknowledged, and may you continue to grow on the path that you set before you, and may you always know it's the right path.
Atzilah, may you always be open to love in all its many splendors and forms, and allow it to come to you the way you have given it out.
Atzilah, may your rest of your journey be like your chant circle, filled with joy, love, and understanding.
Atzilah, may the wonder of the divine be always with you.
Atzilah, I'm going to miss you. May you always have the courage to face the hard times. You're going right into a hard time, and you're so courageous, and always be true to yourself, and know that we're here if you ever need an ear.
And Joanne put into the chat, Atzilah, may you continue to dance into the unknown. And Ari put into the chat, the chant, into the chant box. Atzilah, may you always be surrounded by hope.
So we can all lift up our talit. So we make a 1/10 of blessing that will always be holding you, Atzilah, and may you feel yourself just held always under the wings of the Shekhinah and held always in the circle of our love.
Tivarech Shekhinah v'tishmerech. May Shekhinah bless you and protect you. And may you continue to shed blessings, to sow blessings wherever you walk. Ta'er Shekhinah paneha elayich utechunech. May Shekhinah illuminate her face toward you and give you grace, allow you to continue moving through this world with this remarkable grace that you have. Tisa Shekhinah paneha elayich v'tasem lach shalom. May Shekhinah lift up her countenance toward you. May you experience this life as if looking at her face to face. And may you always experience, and may you always be a channel of peace.
Amen. Can you hear us all?
Can you hear that song? All goodbyes are hard. And we live in a time where the journeys don't mean that we'll never see you again. They don't mean that we won't see you, perhaps weekly, God willing. And yet this is a journey, a big journey, not just of miles, but a big spiritual journey, a life journey. And you have all of our blessings, always, all of our blessings. And whenever we see you, and whenever we think of you, we know that Shekhinah will be there between us. When we see your face, we will see the face of Shekhinah. And so we'll close with Hine Ya Beni Uvencha. There Ya is between me and you, always. Ad Olam, always. Hine Ya Beni Uvencha. Hine Ya Beni Uvencha. Ad Olam, Ad Olam. Hine Ya Beni Uvencha. Hine Ya Beni Uvencha. Ad Olam, Ad Olam. Hine Ya Beni Uvencha. Hine Ya Beni Uvencha. Ad Hine a beni uvencha. Hine a beni uvencha. Adolam. Adolam. Hine a beni uvencha. Hine a beni uvencha. Adolam. Adolam. Hine a beni uvencha. Hine a beni uvencha. Adolam. Adolam. Hine a beni uvencha. Hine a beni uvencha. Adolam. 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 Thank you, everybody, for being here today. We now have a reception. There are delicious refreshments right in your refrigerator. People to go grab some, come
Can
back
I just
and check.
Can I just say one thing? I just want to say one thing before we break for the refreshments. I have just received encouragement and love beyond my wildest dreams. I've never received anything like this. And I just want you all to know just how incredible this has been for me. And I really asked Erwin, based on what Chef has said, that I needed to have the pathway opened. And I think it really has been, so thank you. Thank you. And I would also add to that it struck me just in this moment, the question of why we, and I know it's not Elul yet, but the Elul Nigun, it seems like it's been very appropriate this past COVID whole thing. So I'm putting a request in. Did he die, did he die, oi, oi, did he die?
Oh, sure.
I think we need to do that.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying. That's an odd thing to say right now, but it does feel like a right thing. So
Let's do it. And I was starting to put into the chat, but I can't multitask. Want to thank the committee that created today's ritual.
Thank you.
Judith Goldman, Rita Rowan, and Leah Bowden. Thank you for giving your gift.
Thank you.
You're so good. Diddy die, die, diddy die,
Die.
diddy die, oi, oi, diddy diddy dum. Diddy die, die, diddy
Diddy die, oi, oi, diddy.
diddy dum. Diddy die, die, oh. Diddy die, die, oh. Diddy die, die, oh. Diddy die, die, oh. Take it, Atzilah.
You're muted now.
Hang on. Want me to give it a try?
Diddy die, die, diddy die, oi, oi, diddy die, oi, oi, diddy, diddy die. Diddy die, die, diddy die, oi, oi, diddy die, oi, oi, diddy, diddy die. Diddy die, die, oh, diddy die, die, oh, diddy die, die, oh. Diddy die, die, oh. Diddy die, die, diddy die, oi, oi, diddy die, oi, oi, diddy, diddy die. Diddy die, die, diddy die, oi, oi, diddy die, oi, oi, diddy, diddy die. Diddy die, die, oh. Diddy die, die, oh. Diddy die, die, oh. Diddy die, die, oh. Thank you for indulging me.
What's it all about?
Yay. There's everybody. There's everybody. Good to see everybody's face.
Much love, Atzilah. May your journey be joyful.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll be around till the 1st of August, so okay. I'll be open to seeing you on my porch or whatever. So
Good.
Nice to you.
See you, sweetheart.
Thank you so much, everyone.
It's been lovely.
I love you so much.
It's so good to hear about all the things that you've done and the people you've touched, and it was great to learn so much more about it.
Oh, I'm glad. All in one place. And this is so beautiful. It's just stunning.
Night, Atzilah.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, sweetheart. Speak to you soon.
Okay, all right, good.
Bye, honey. Hope to talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Take care, Atzilah. We love you.
Bye, Atzilah. Hope to talk to you before you go. Bye. It's Renee.
Okay, good, yeah.
Yeah. Best of both.
Thank you, thank you. You, everybody take good care, but I'll be around and I'm here till the August 1st, so call me up and come have a little schmooze on my porch, socially distanced. Yeah.
Love you. Take good care.
I love you. Yes, thank you for coming. Thank you, everybody, so much. Hi, Jenny. Hi there. Daron. Oh, I didn't see all these people. Look at her. Who's been here? I didn't even know. Oh, my God. Judy. Hi, Basha.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Atzilah, I'm so glad that you thought to go to someone's house so that you wouldn't be alone. And I'm glad that was possible.
Yes, Yara was the perfect person to be my host, this person. So, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just had a feeling it would be better. Yeah, so thank you. Yeah. Oh, hi, Maggie. Hi, Larry. Oh, I didn't notice he was here before. Wow, Daron. Good to see you, Daron.
Good to see you too. Hope to see you before you leave.
Yeah, I hope so too. And thank you for the doing stuff for the Nigun.
Sure, that was such a pleasure.
Bye, Sila.
Bye. Judith, it's good to see you. Oh my gosh.
I miss you terribly.
Crazy, I know. We've been seeing each other for so long.
Too.
I saw. Yes, and you have a wedding anniversary coming up too.
Yeah.
Just saying. So yeah, please come visit me if you. I have a porch. It's cooler in the evening, late afternoon, early evening.
We'll be flying along with you wherever you go.
Okay. Yes. Bye. Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you, Erwin and Shoshana, the whole committee and everybody. Yeah. Oh, I'm not sure how to, but somehow I will.
Some grapes and raspberry.
Yeah, I will. Probably. What a blessing. Yeah.
I was thinking, Atzilah, when you were saying how moved you were, just what just feels like we're reflecting back to you all the love that you've given to all of us individually and to the community. And I'm so glad that we had a way to kind of reflect that back to you so you could receive it.
Oh, I'm so grateful. It's big, huge, life-changing experience to have this. And there's something, oddly sort of consolidated in a good way about it being on Zoom. We keep finding these little surprises of like, wow, this kind of works really well for this. Shepherding people into one little square place. It's like, what a thing that is.
We've also recorded this, so you can look whenever you'd like.
Thank you. It would be really fun to show it to the right people. You know that expression, going to the hardware store for ice cream?
No.
If you don't know it, it's a very good expression to have in your back pocket.
What does it mean?
It means, it's like you don't show stuff that means a lot to people who won't get it.
Oh.
Or you won't, like if I go to somebody and I expect them to be able to receive something and they're just so not that person could do that, Yeah. So it's like making choices, discerning choices about revealing oneself, especially in a vulnerable way. I mean, many of us have learned the hard way of going to the hardware store for ice cream. And then when we're like, okay, what happened? That didn't go well. But that's the thing about this kind of event. It was just all so, kind of the right, the people that everybody self-selects, and it's the right group came together for this. So, anyway, made me think about that.
I hope this was like going to Screaming Mimi's.
Right. It is the only place where there's any real nightlife in Sebastopol, as you probably well know. Yeah, nightlife's, if that's what you want to call it. There's a crowd there.
You guys have become my nightlife, so thank you for that. It's 10:30 here, so I'm it's party central.
That's a way to end a weekend right there.
Wouldn't be anywhere else.
Right? Thank you. Yeah, it's so good to get to know you over this strange time in history.
It's amazing, and I am eternally grateful for that myself.
You've been a normalizing presence, I would say.
I think that's the first time anybody has ever said that about me.
Think about that for a while. Just think about that. We can discuss on Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on Tuesday because that's normalizing. Wow. Yeah, there goes my reputation completely. I know. Erwin's like,
just can't hold on to that stuff. Yeah.
Normal.
I don't know. I don't know where that came from, but there it was.
I like it though. No, it's true, and I truly did that when I put it in the chat. Truly, the minute I met you, I no longer felt like a newcomer. I just felt welcome. I just felt this automatic welcome from you, like I had always been there and I should be there, and there wasn't a sense
I'm
of
glad.
like,
I'm glad.
I don't know.
You know, sometimes you get welcomed by all the ancestors behind the person. That's what it feels like to me. It's like, oh, you got the whole thing right there. It went backwards and forwards and in a lot somehow.
Atzilah, I need to get going, but I'm so glad that we were able to provide this as a mirror for you. And I hope that you'll use it as such.
It will take me a while to really digest all this, I think. But yeah, it's big. Thank you. Thank you so much for all your help.
Oh,
and
my
for
pleasure.
your sweet chant at the beginning that
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
We recognize
Alrighty.
immediately.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, Leah. I have to go to bed, so.
Goodbye. Have a good night. Have a good
Thanks.
sleep.
Thanks.
I'm gonna close the room. Yael, thank you again for facilitating Atzilah's presence and her presence, both her presence and her presence.
Thank you, Erwin. Thank you, Erwin, for all all the magic that you and Shoshana and the committee put together. Thank you.
We love you.
We love you.
Love you too. We'll see you all one way or another soon.
Yes.
Okay. Bye. Bye.